Philippians, what God cannot do does not exist. My name is Alua Tosin. I'm from Michigan, the United States, and I'm here to testify to the glory of God over my career. I'm here to say thank you to God for a career breakthrough. Starting about 2023, I started praying to God for a career breakthrough. I have a job, but I wanted something new. I wanted something that was going to elevate and move me to another level. I was getting interviewed. People were calling me saying, hey, they saw me on LinkedIn, they saw my resume, I was getting referrals, but somehow the pattern was always I would do interviews and something would happen. Or I would be the top runner up, or like the second person. I'd get to the last stage, and all of a sudden you'd start hearing things like, it's either they scrapped the position and they're no longer hiring for it anymore, or they'd say, oh, we chose someone else, or there'd just be nothing. Sometimes it was just nothing. But these are opportunities where they seek me out. I had opportunities for CEO positions, executive officers, and these are executive level positions where they would come looking for me. They'd say to me, hey, we got your information from this person and you come very highly recommended. And they'd be so engaged. And all of a sudden it'd just be dead silence. Or the one that completely blew my mind, we got to the very final stage and they said, we had to go back, and now we're deciding to just completely scrap the position. We're not doing this. You don't scrap a position. It's a key position within the organization. You don't scrap a position like that. So I started to see a pattern. I started to see a pattern of failure right at the edge of success, disappointment at the edge of breakthrough. There was a particular one, and this one really broke me, where I did 8 different interviews over the span of a year. First couple interviews, I got all the way to meeting with the CEO, and this was a global organization. So to meet with the CEO of a global organization, and I'm not talking any small global organization, no, it's a major, big global organization, to get all the way to interviewing with the CEO and to have the CEO's cell phone number, where the CEO is calling you randomly, texting you randomly, and you're staying on the phone with the CEO and they're saying to you that no, you're our top runner for this position, only for them to choose someone else. And then the CEO personally calls you to say, hey, this was really rough. It was a tough decision, but we had to go with someone else. But I'm saving your number because you're an excellent candidate. There's another thing that's coming up and we're going to definitely just move forward with you. That comes up, it goes another way. I really want to keep this short, but it ends up going another way. It was sometime in October of last year, and I said to God, the next job that I'm going to get, I'm not going to do one single interview because at this point I can't even count, and I'm not going to negotiate. Pastor Jerry will always say, you're preferred, you've been chosen.
Whether you have it or you do not have it, the mantle of the chosen, there might be many people looking for what you are looking for. But the mantle of the preferred, it is resting upon you.
One that always sticks to me is, because of my age, because of my experience, I would always hold on to it when Pastor Jerry says a child will rule them.
The Lord just gave me this word from the scripture, for a child shall be their king.
In December of last year, I get a random call from an associate within the government in Michigan, and all of a sudden, they're selling the government to me. They're selling their organization to me and saying, hey, it'd be great to work with us. You'd have all of these benefits. We do this. It's a wonderful system. It's a wonderful place to be. And it took me a minute, and I finally realized that they were trying to tell me to come and work with them. They were offering me a job. And I said to them, okay, after the whole conversation, at this point, my mind is blown. After the entire conversation, I said, okay, well, what do you need from me? Do you need me to fill out an application? And they just said to me, no, we just need you to sleep on it and give us a yes or a no. And of course, I was so excited. Like, this is my answered prayers. I said to God that my next job, I don't want to interview. I don't want anything. And I don't want to negotiate. Pastor Jerry will say, how would you shout your shout? I shouted my shout. I rolled on the floor. I sang my song. I danced. I praised. There was nothing I didn't do. They set the salary, and it wasn't what I had written down in my prayers. So I just accepted. I accepted what they offered me. And finally, they came back to me and they said, we reviewed your qualifications. We reviewed everything. And we don't think that that's enough. What I wrote down is what they came back to offer me. And you can't tell me that God did not have a hand in this, because it's what I wrote down. What I was too afraid to negotiate, that's what they came back. I did my fingerprinting, I did everything that I needed to do, And I said to them, like, I don't know where am I supposed to report to on my first day of work? What building? Where am I going to be working out of? And the HR lady looked at me. She goes, oh yeah, that's really easy to figure out. I just need to figure out what building they gave you access to, because you only have access to the building that you work in. And so she's looking and she's scrolling and she's looking and she's trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be working. Where's my office going to be? And she goes, I'm so sorry, I can't tell you where your office is going to be, because you have access to every single building, every single government building in this county. You're an executive, so it's hard for me to tell you this. I had to keep my composure while I was inside the office. I had to keep my composure. And when I got out, I just started screaming. I just started shouting, Jesus, yeah. And it kept ringing in my ear when Pastor Jerry would say, how would you shout your shout? I couldn't shout my shout in the parking lot, but I had to get to the car, and it just blew my mind. And truly, this is the year that God has sent me, because a lot has happened since then. So many other testimonies, but I'm being mindful of time. I want to rush through this, but I'm coming back to give more testimonies, and I'll pace myself. But truly,